A very good morning, dear students. I hope by now you have come into a routine. You must have joined for the physical activity session in the morning and must have enjoyed doing it. I just want to ask you a question. Can you imagine a world without the birds, lush green trees, and bright flowers? We can't imagine, isn't it? If we want to have them always around us, then we must take proper care of the environment around us. Today, we have a session on environment awareness by Ms. G. Padmaja from the Civil Engineering Department. And the session would be moderated by Dr. Sucheta. And that is under SIP Module 7, Literature and Literary Activities. And then we have a short break. Then we have a proficiency module, and this time in computers, computer programming and its significance in engineering domain by the Computer Science Engineering Department. It is all planned by Ranjit sir, and you'll have a session by Dr. Jayashree and Mr. V. Sridhar. They're all senior faculty of the CSE department. Then take a break, and when you join after lunch, you join with your branches. Under SIP Module 3, familiarization of the department branch, and your core department has activities planned for you. So students, stay put, be an active participant, and enjoy the sessions. And may I call upon Dr. Sucheta to kindly take over. Sucheta, madam.
Good morning, ma'am. Thank you very much. Welcome all. Good morning. Welcome to parents, faculty, and students. We shall start our session with Vande Mataram song. Please raise up. Vande Mataram, Vande Mataram, Sujata, Sukhala, Madaya Shitala, Sasya Shyamala Mataram, Vande Mataram, Shubhra Jyosna Purakitaya Pullatu Sumita Drumadala Shobhini Suhasini Sumadhura Bhashini Sukhanam Varadam Mataram Vande Mataram Vande Mataram. So, we shall go ahead starting our session on environmental awareness. And it is going to be presented by our in-house expertise, Mrs. G. Padmaja. Let me give a brief introduction about the madam. Mrs. Padmavati Ganti, Assistant Professor in Department of Civil Engineering, joined this institution in July 2006. She holds a master's degree in the domain of geoinformatics from JNTU, Hyderabad. Presently, she is pursuing her doctoral program in the area of Spatial Decision Support System for Integrated Watershed Management using Geomatics from JNTUH. Center of Water Resources. She is an accomplished faculty and has a strong passion to teach and motivate young minds. She has few national and international publications to her credit and her areas of interest include climate change, remote sensing, applications with respect to environmental issues, change detection, and watershed modeling. Welcome, ma'am. Students are waiting for your session.
Yeah. Can I share the screen, ma'am, now? Can you see the screen? Yeah, good morning, one and all. At the outset, I congratulate all students to have joined this prestigious institution and wishing you good luck for your future endeavors. Today's my talk is on environmental awareness. The year 2020 has revolutionized our lifestyles, and certain things have become an integral part of our lifestyles, like masks, sanitizer, gloves, etc. This pandemic surely taught everyone a lesson. Now let's begin the session. Yeah. Now, coming to the basic requirements for existence, what are the, main important things that we require for survival? Like we have air, then we have water, food, shelter, or even, land, shelter or land. Now, we'll get back to this one after the other. Now, before that, we can see that, you can see health and well-being usually begins here. The moment you are born, once you are exposed to the environment, then your health and well-being usually begins here. Now, many issues we face today all tie back in one central concern: public health. Pollution, water scarcity, overpopulation all pose a clear threat to public health. According to WHO, 1 out of every 4 deaths each year are directly caused due to unhealthy environment. Yeah. Now, when you speak about air, is it just air that we need for survival? No, we need clean air. Now, just close your eyes and think. Now, wherever you are traveling, either you are inside your house or you are traveling outside, do you think that we have clean air? It's a big question mark. Now, just these are some of the facts that I thought I should share with you. Now, see, on an average, every adult inhales and exhales around 7 to 8 liters of fresh air per minute. Now that totals about 11,000 liters of air per day. Now, a typical human lifespan can be reduced around 1 to 2 years from inhaling polluted air. At work, at school, and even at home, we spend 90% of our time indoors. Now we'll get back to, there is a slide you can see after few slides. See, even at work, at school, and home, we almost spend 90% of our time indoors. And the quality of indoor air can be 2 to 5 times or even sometimes 100 times more hazardous or polluted than the worst outside air. Pediatric asthma rates have increased to 72%. Hundreds of harmful chemicals are being released into the environment on a regular basis almost every day. Millions and millions of harmful chemicals are being released. Now, at least 1 billion people in the world breathe unhealthy air. Now, the facts may be alarming, you can see. According to WHO, 7 million premature deaths are caused each year due to air pollution in cities across the world, and 3 million die annually due to air pollution. WHO stated that Indian cities were among those with highest levels of air pollution, and India has the highest rate of the deaths caused by chronic respiratory diseases in the world. Now you can see, now this kind of a situation we come across many times. Now wherever you have industries, Now whatever the harmful gases which are coming out of these industries are very very hazardous. Now I think this kind of a situation you are facing every day. Now you can see this now in the old, people covering their face with cloth or mask to ensure that they are they do not inhale those polluted gases. Now you can see this industries, then you have all the household uh, polluted gases from different areas. Then now this kind of situation, I think in future the whole face is covered with a mask, because outside air is so polluted, so bad that you can't breathe it. So this kind of a situation, maybe in future you might be seeing, because see, these days whenever you go out, we carry our water bottles, because we are not sure whatever water that is available either in your college or in your school, it is safe to drink. So in the same way, in wherever you go in future, there, those days are not far where we need to carry our own cylinders, like small size oxygen cylinders, so that you can't, because the outside atmosphere or the outside gases are polluted. Now, similarly, this kind of a situation, see, the industries polluting or open site burning, all that, this kind of a situation you see come across every day. Now, these traffic jams, where, most of us, when we travel from one place to another place, we will see this kind of a situation. Now, you can see so much of pollutants are being released, especially during the traffic jams. Now, you can see this now, especially villages, rural India, many women and also children, they are exposed to this kind of fumes. They are casting black shadows in their lives, and they are leading to several health issues, because they are exposed to this kind of a situation, because they are not privileged to buy gas or other means of cooking. Therefore they resort to this kind of cooking, which is leading to a lot of air pollutants and also casting black shadows in their lives. They will see that. Now lastly, in the name of worship, most of us resort to burning these incense sticks. They also contribute to some form of air pollution, and therefore, yeah. Now, next, you can see this kind of a situation. See, these days, because of this pandemic, we are used to wearing this mask wherever we go. But honestly, because of air pollution, there are many cities which, they use mask on a continuous basis to protect themselves from air pollution. Now, see this clipping. If you see this image, because of lack of visibility, blinding smog, which caused 24 vehicle pileup on the expressway in New Delhi last year. Now, it seems Delhi loses 80 lives to air pollution almost on an everyday basis, says the study. Now, the outdoor air pollution is the fifth largest killer in India. Now, this kind of a situation we come across every day wherever you are traveling. Now, because of those fumes and pollutants, we cover our faces because of that. So people in most of the cities wear masks continuously.
Padmaja, ma'am?
Ma'am, can I start?
Yeah, please continue, ma'am.
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah, ma'am.
Okay. Yeah. So there is something called the air quality index, AQI. Now there are different colors and different values indicating the levels of concern. Now green, first one we have, which is between 0 and 50. The air quality index is between 0 and 50. Now it is good. That means the air quality is satisfactory. and air pollution poses little or no risk. Then we have yellow, which is moderate, 51 to 100. Now it is acceptable. Then we have orange. This is unhealthy for sensitive groups. This is between 101 to 150. So members of sensitive groups may experience health effects. General public is less likely to be affected. Then we have red. This is unhealthy, between 151 to 200. Then we have some members of the general public may experience health effects. Members of sensitive groups may experience more serious health effects. Then we have purple. This is very unhealthy. Suppose from here you can see it is a matter of concern from red onwards. So purple between 201 to 350, 300. It is very unhealthy. Now you have a health alert. The risk of health effects is increased for everyone. Lastly, we have maroon, which is 300 or higher. Now it is hazardous and there is a health warning. Now you can see this, see you have a app wherein you can check your on a daily basis, on a day-to-day basis, you can check your what is your air quality index. See, this was taken for Hyderabad region on, 8th December. This is on taken on 8th December at 7 p.m. You can check this. See, this is a graph indicating that how your levels are fluctuating. See, between this is on 8th December. Now you can see between 3 and 6 p.m. AM, 3 and 6 a.m. there is a fall, isn't it? So slowly there is a rise after 6 a.m. Then during, between 9 and 12, there is a peak. You can see this. So this is how you can check your air quality index. Suppose you're present in a particular area, you can check your air quality. Now, see, already we have mentioned 50 is good. Then we have orange. Then you have on the top, you can see if at all level. The font is very small here. So less than 50, it is good, moderate, unhealthy, harmful, very harmful, and hazardous. So this is an app, because of advancement in technology, you can check your, area, based on the air quality index. Maybe you can think about the mitigative measures, like what you have to do so as to improve your air quality index in a particular area. So that is the main reason why I thought I'll show you. Now, clean air, it's a big question mark. I continue. Now, just see this. Air pollution kills 2 Indians every minute. Yeah, this is a fact. The figures are fact. It kills every 2 minutes. Air pollution kills 2 Indians every minute. For every 1 minute, almost 2 people die. Now, see this, just now I have shown you the air quality index. In Mumbai, it is almost 177, which is unhealthy as per the air quality index that we have seen in the earlier slide. New Delhi, you can see it is 440. That means it has surpassed that maroon color, which is beyond 301. It is very, very, hazardous. So this is 440, which is alarming. You can think about what kind of air quality we have in case of New Delhi. And then you have Bengaluru, which is 104. So this is well within the range. Now Chennai, it is 118, and Kolkata 178. This is also unhealthy for sensitive as well as unsensitive people. Now coming to Hyderabad, this is 152. So this is also unhealthy. That means whatever air quality that we are breathing every day, it is unhealthy. Okay. Then breathing the air in Mumbai for 1 day, for just 1 day, is like smoking 100 cigarettes. You can imagine what kind of air quality you have in case of Mumbai. If it is just 177, if it is equivalent to smoking 100 cigarettes. Now think about the quality of air in other cities, metropolitan cities. Now, change lifestyles or lifestyle practices which are resorting to, deterioration of health, and also they are also contributing to some form of air pollutant, either directly or indirectly. This we will get back. Then this kind of a thing very commonly we see vehicles, transportation. If you take the transportation industry, this is the major contributing factor for, all our air pollutants which are being released on a daily basis. Then we have, just now we were discussing about the indoor air pollutants. See, even if you are at home, see, most of us, we resort to staying indoors almost 90% of our time, isn't it? So see, if you are in your home, even kitchen, if you take kitchen, every part of your house, it leads to certain amounts of pollutants into the environment, either directly or indirectly. Kitchen you have different, see, when you cook, a lot of fumes come out, so that is contributing to air pollution. Then your laundry room, cleaning products, like if you take your cleaning products like various detergents or other things, or you have your room fresheners, etc. These also resort to air pollutants. Then you have your bedrooms, or you have your then you have your bathroom. Here also you have certain odors and microbial pathogens. Then you have your air conditioning units, which also leads to some kind of air pollutants. Then you have your living room. That means every part of your house, in one way or other way, is contributing to different types of air pollutants. Now, we spend more than 90% of our time indoors. Therefore, it's very important that our indoor air clean to protect our health and also our well-being. Poor indoor air quality can cause negative impacts on our health, such as allergies, respiratory problems, and also skin problems. Now, pollution do matter. Now, you can see this, which are in red, they are accepted effects, and these are the which are in blue, they are possible effects. Now, what are the accepted effects? Shorter life, stroke, then you have heart diseases, asthma, lung cancer, reduced lung function, and low birth weight. Now, these are accepted. That means they are already proved. Now, coming to the possible effects of air pollution, we have learning disabilities, then depression, Alzheimer's, then autism, obesity, birth defects, and diabetes. Now, these are some of the issues with respect to human beings. So, definitely pollution matters. Thousands of studies have shown that air pollution can harm people, causing different problems that we have already seen. Okay. Now, clean air. Just living and breathing the air in cities is equivalent to smoking 2 packets of cigars every day. Now, WHO estimates 10 to 15% of Indian children in the age group 5 to 11 suffer from asthma. The effect could be as small as burning eyes and itchy throat to as large as breathing problems and even sometimes death. Air pollution in India is estimated to cause 5,27,700 deaths per year. Outdoor air pollution top 10 killers ranks in the top 10 killers on the earth. 80% of lung diseases are caused due to pollution from cars, buses, trucks, and other vehicles. Now you can see this image. Now see, these are our kidneys. Now suppose you can see this good air quality. These are our lungs. Good air quality. If you take healthy lungs, have wide opening pathways, while now you can see this, you have this wide opening pathways, but whereas if you take this high ozone levels, the muscles contract, you can see this, and narrowing the pathway. That means the breathing becomes very, very difficult. Now, then we have the clean air. You can see this kind of a situation we come across every day. Just traffic jams. I wanted to tell you a few things about this. See, traffic jams, people who live near traffic jams face greater risk as these places contain more concentrated levels of air pollution. During heavy traffic jams, outside pollutants can seep inside the car, making the air inside 10 times more polluted. See, most of the times we sit inside the car. Whenever there are traffic jams, we will be sitting inside the car with our ACs on. But honestly, it is more dangerous as compared to the outside air. So this you have to, it is a matter of concern. Then air pollution caused in traffic jams causes chances of heart attacks, reduced lung function, also leads to serious respiratory issues. Now, by 2050, 6 million people will die per year due to air pollution. Yeah, this is another important thing. We were discussing about rural India. See, these ladies, they are not privileged to use gas or some other means of cooking. So they resort to this kind of cooking, which is very, very hazardous to their lives. Just see this: clean air, smoke from chulas, biggest killer in rural India. traditional chulas linked to 25% of pollution related deaths in India, which attributed to nearly 26.7 lakh deaths. Now, 142 million rural households still burn solid fuels like wood, cow dung, or crop residues for cooking. They use cow dung or crop residues, which is casting black shadows on their lives and health of people in these households. See, it is not only these women who are exposed to this kind of soot or fumes, even children. You can see this. Children below the age 10, or even sometimes toddlers also, because their mothers are involved in cooking, so they will be playing around, so they are also exposed to this kind of pollutants, and therefore they have these respiratory diseases. Lung infections are very commonly observed because of exposure to fumes from cooking in these rural households. Tuberculosis, low birth weight, heart attacks are also increasing. Now you can imagine. Now you know how long they will be exposed. More than 3 to 4 hours they are exposed to that kind of situation on a everyday basis, day-to-day basis. Then we have this another thing, this BD industry. You can see this. See, according to WHO, tobacco kills more than 7 million people each year. Over 6 million deaths are as a result of direct consumption, whereas 8.9 lakhs are the result of passive smoking. See, this is change lifestyle practice. See, those who want to smoke, they have taken that. By their choice, they have started smoking. But what about the passive smokers? Now, see this 8.9 lakhs, they are the result of 8.9 lakh deaths are a result of passive smoking. Now, nearly 100 million premature deaths have been recorded in the 20th century, and the figure is set to increase by 1 billion by the 21st century. Smoking kills over 1 million people in India annually and is the fourth leading cause of non-communicable diseases such as cancer, heart diseases, which accounts to almost 53% of all deaths in India. Now you can see this lady, they are rolling BDs actually with the infant on her lap. Now you can imagine what kind of a futures they will be having, because see, you can see here, passive smokers most harmful than active smokers. Now you can see there is a little girl who is on their backpack. So directly or indirectly, you are causing harm to your near and dear. Now then we have this one more thing. See, India's tobacco girls, Salma, 11, gave up school last year to roll cigarettes full time. This you can see, I think, whether it is visible or not. India's tobacco girls, Salma, 11, age 11, gave up her school last year to roll cigarettes full time. Now just see this. I think there are so many problems here. See, over 1.7 million children work as laborers in India's BD rolling industry. Children are engaged as their fingers are more adept at rolling BDs. Now, children are made to work more than 14 hours a day with no breaks or even holidays, earning as little as 30 per 1,000 BDs on an average. They suffer from tuberculosis, postural and eye defects, anemia, lung and skin diseases. Now, just last line, please see this. The pressure to keep with the speed and meet the target is so intense that many skip their meals and even avoid drinking water, so that they do not need to go to the toilet. See, they need to roll these 1,000 BDs, isn't it, to earn a meager amount of 30 rupees. So to meet the target, that is just 1,000 BDs. So they are, they are skipping their lunch, as well as they don't even drink water. So you can imagine what kind of health hazards they are, they will have in future, isn't it? So you can see this image. Most of them are children, especially girls. Now here also you can say, because their mother is involved in that, so they don't go to school and they resort to this kind of an activity to just to contribute to their family's earning or whatever. Now, next, another thing is firecracker industry. The Indian firecracker industry is the second largest in the world. More than 80 million children are employed in the firework industry. around the world, and the majority being in India. Asthma, tuberculosis, they are prevalent among 90% of them who are involved in filling the gunpowder are directly in contact with the chemical ingredients. And the irony is buying fireworks, that means if you are buying fireworks, that means we are indirectly contributing to child labor. See, you can see these images. Most of them are girls only here also under the age of 15. Now see, the earth has enough problems already. Avoid crackers. Now you can see what happens to the lungs of children who make crackers. You can read this tagline. Then you have the street sweeping. That means it's not just burning the crackers causing noise pollution, but you are ending in leading to a lot of garbage, that means trash, that means solid waste. Then you can see this girl, almost 2 years old or whatever, she is trying to fill the gunpowder or crush it. Now just you can see this. So these are some of the, you can see most of them are girls. Now these are the problems because of the bursting of crackers, maybe some explosion or some accident. Now this boy lost his eyes. Likewise, you can see so many people on a regular, every yearly basis. Now, next you can see this. I think I wanted to tell you this. Boom, boom goes the Diwali rocket, nearly emptying my father's pocket, sparkles and glitters adorn the sky. But I never wondered from where did he buy. It's a day full of ecstasy and joy. Then suddenly I glimpsed at the ill-fated boy. You can see this boy, or those who are in the other slide. Everything is rugged off what he wore. Blisters on his face and hands are gore. I was said he was a child labor, sweating and lingering for big men's favor. Day and night tormenting in crackers' company, not even tasted the buds of sympathy. Everyone happy and boisterous, but only his looks were disastrous. His soaring eyes, sleep abducted, and freedom rejected. Boom, boom goes the Diwali rocket, nearly emptying my father's pocket. Sparkles and glitters adorn the sky. Now I feel sorry. Why did my father buy? The amount of money simply blown off in smoke on account of crackers could probably put to a more meaningful cause. Now you can see this darkness. This is a clipping from some of the major newspapers. The darkness below the lights. You can see the darkness below the lights. 70% of children in Shivakashi working long shifts under hellish conditions for beggarly wages. That means very meager wages are girls in pitfalls. Now you can see this. Most of them are girls. Yeah. So this is about how we are contributing to different types of air pollution, the different means. I thought few, case studies. So I have taken into account some firecrackers, and we have chulas, then we have the traffic jams, and then followed by our BD industry or the cigarette industry. Now, what are the consequences? Now, repercussions. Now you have this. You can see this Bhopal gas tragedy, because see, unlike soil and water, suppose if soil is contaminated or water is contaminated, the impact is not felt immediately. But whereas if it is air pollution, the impact can be intense, and it is an immediate impact. Now you can see Bhopal gas tragedy. Now even today also they can feel because of various problems. Now this is one recent past week, you can see in Vishakhapatnam, because of smoky city, many have died and several hospitalized after a gas leak incident in Vishakhapatnam on during May 2020. Similarly, you can see death in the air. This is London smog 1952, wherein many people have died, and they have resorted to moving from those areas because they have casted black shadows. That means death in the air. Now, this is a case of Bhopal gas tragedy in the year 1984, where that pesticide plant suddenly there was a leak and many people died immediately. And even today also they have these birth defects. You can see from these pictures. Now, just see, among the 5 lakh people exposed to the gas, this is Bhopal gas tragedy. 20,000 have died till date, and 1.2 lakhs continue to suffer. out of every 3 children born after the Bhopal disaster, only one survived. So the after effects are even felt even today. It is not only human beings who are a victim to this air pollution. Now even animals, you can see the carcasses of several animals which died on the spot because of exposure to air pollutants. So it is not just human beings, but it is also animals who are affected. Now, so these are some of the things I wanted to show. Now we need to cover other things. So how to combat? That means how we can get rid of this pollutants and how we can have clean air. Now there is, I mean, you can see this here. There is no question mark because this, I think this is the best solution because trees, they act as like we have our lungs which are, I mean, which filter the impure air and give, I mean, similarly we need good greenery or plants or forests. They act as lungs to the earth. Now, forests, jungles, trees, plants produce the oxygen we breathe. Now, they are the lungs of the earth, and if we destroy them, we destroy ourselves. Now, you can imagine this. Now, save trees, reduce greenhouse effects. Now, the same thing. So, the best remedy where you can combat air pollution and have a better environment with respect to air get rid of air pollutants is save trees or have a good greenery in and around your vicinity so that you can try to reduce the impact of your air pollutants. See, it is known fact that if you have a good tree, now that is sufficient. Like there are different varieties of trees. Now, if you have a good neem tree, that is, then that is equivalent to, see, if you take a group of 200 or 300 people, now whatever air that they are inhaling or exhaling, now that is sufficient to cater to their needs. That means one big tree can give good or, air to almost 200 to 300 people in your vicinity. Now, this another thing, Green Belt movement. Now, Vanagari Maathai, now she's a professor by profession. Now, she started this Green Belt movement in South Kenya. Now, she planted around 51 million trees. Now, the main thing is they wanted to combat deforestation and restore their main sources of fuel for cooking, generate income, and stop soil erosion. Now, just see this. Until you dig a hole, you plant a tree, you water it, and make it survive. Yeah, this is most important. See, many times we see many celebrities and many people resorting to planting a tree. You just water it on that particular day and take a photograph or a selfie and then publish in the newspapers. But they don't never bother whether it is surviving or not. So you have to and make it survive. You haven't done a thing. You are just talking. Yeah, this is most important. Said by Vanagari Maathai. I repeat again, until you dig a hole, you plant a tree, you water it, and make it survive. You haven't done a thing. You are just talking. So most of the people, most of our celebrities or politicians we have seen, they are just speaking or just talking. GBM, Green Belt Movement, works at grassroots, national and international levels to promote environmental conservation, to build climate resilience, and empower communities, especially women and girls, to foster democratic space and sustainable livelihood. Now, next, it's not just education. Even this lady, she is Timmaka from Gubbi village in Karnataka. As a girl, she went to school as a child laborer. See, her parents married her off to Chikkaya, a cattle herder. Actually, they were having a personal void because they did not have children. So to fill that gap, what they did is they started planting trees. Now, see, they have decided and they have plant people, people trees 50 years ago and starting looking after them like their children. Now, that is the way. Now, see, that's how they have till date they have planted around 300 trees on the road of Hulikal. Now, Hulikal near in Kudur village, between Kudur and Hulikal in Karnataka, planted by this Chikkanna and Timmakam. Now today they are towering trees on both sides, which give you shade, and the crisp leaves underfoot will make the road soft to walk on. Now, in 1995, this lady was given a National Citizens Award, and she says every person must leave behind some asset for humanity. See, it's not just whether you are educated or an illiterate. For humanity, every person must leave behind some asset for humanity. So I felt she needs applause. So I have included this. So she is the one who has won the National Citizens Award. Then this is Chipko movement. I think most of you might be knowing. They have embraced the trees and say to save them from being felled. The property of our hills, save them from being looted. See, this is in Uttar Pradesh, Chamoli district from Uttarakhand. I mean, they have, they wanted to start a uh, company there. So to avoid that, they have embraced the trees so that they could not fell. So this started by Sundarlal Bahuguna, and then most of them are in these village. Most of them were women, and they have embraced the trees. That means they hug the trees to ensure that they are not felled. So this is how this Chipko movement started in 1970s, and this was a non-violent movement aimed to protect and conserve our trees and forests. Now, next we have Harita Haram. Telangana, the government started this scheme. Telangana Harita Haram. It's a large-scale tree planting program implemented by the government of Telangana to increase the green cover. See, actually, there is something called, as per national policy on forest, there should be the minimum 33% of the land cover should be covered with forest. But unfortunately, because of industrialization or urbanization, we often resort to felling trees, and therefore, to increase the green cover from 24% to 33, that is as per national policy. So they have started this program, and the goal is to plant about 230 crore seedlings. Okay, but now just see this kind of a image. If you see, we see on regular basis, they are planting seedlings, isn't it? But what about this huge tall trees? Many a times I see in many of the colonies or even on the main roads that large, huge, tall trees which was a habitat to many birds, or even shelter to many birds. So this has been uprooted because of urbanization, or because of construction of roads, or because it has become an obstacle for the electric poles or some other poles, lines which are running. So they have cut down. See, cutting trees is cutting our own lives. When will we learn lessons from other cities? This is a big question mark. Now, in spite of fine of 20,000 fails to save the tree in Hyderabad, despite the imposed fine, the individual managed to rope in workers to cut the old tree, which had a huge canopy and provided a lot of shade to the colony residents. So this kind of a thing that we see many times. So whom to be blamed? Now you can say this. See, to cut a tree, one has to obtain a permission from the Forest Department. Now, as per Volta Act, that is Water, Land and Trees Act, if you cut a tree, you are supposed to plant two in place of that. But it is only restricted to paper. Now, the GHMC Corporation says the Electricity Department is chopping branches, and it has no role in the going on. Now, the Power Wing says it's GHMC's trees that are falling on electric lines. So all they will do is chop the branches, and it is for the GHMC to clear the mess. So it is a blame game. Whom to be blamed? Is it the Electricity Department or the GHMC? So this kind of a situation we come across on a regular basis. Tree cutting itself is not scientific, with staff chopping branches indiscriminately, defeating the basic purpose of having avenue trees. Now, this was people, they started this stop cutting the trees. All that they have started in a colony, they have started this. So whom to be blamed now? It's a blame game. Now, so coming to another important thing, see, technology acts, technology, there should be an advancement in technology. Because of technology, we should find ways how you can utilize that for the betterment of the society. That means for our well-being. So now just see the, I think that this one I felt it is very important. Tree plantation using drones. I think this drones, I think you might have seen many a times whenever there are gatherings or your what you call your marriages, you might have seen a drone capturing the images here and there. Now we are using these drones for various purposes in agricultural practices. Like you can use a drone to apply the fertilizer. At the same time, you can use a drone for planting a tree. Yeah, using a for plantation purpose also you can use. See, these are capable of planting trees seeds, which is no longer a science fiction. It is no longer a science fiction. These UAVs are already being used in the many parts of the agricultural cycle, and this includes the plantation phase also. See, actually in the recent past, these drones were used for applying fertilizers, applying pesticides, because this is called as precision farming. It is called as precision farming because when you fly a drone, it will know, looking at the canopy, that means whether the particular crop is healthy or unhealthy. Based on that, it will apply the pesticide, the correct quantity of pesticide and fertilizer based on the signature, spectral signature. That means based on the color, whether it is healthy or unhealthy, it will decide, and based on that, it will apply. And these are used for applying that. But these days, we are also using these drones for planting the trees. So tree planting drones could help restore the world's forests. See, by using drones to plant trees, areas like steep mountains where humans cannot go, or areas with contaminated soil where we will be putting our health at risk. So those areas also these drones can fly and plant the trees. Now see, these drones will plant around 40,000 trees in a month. By 2028, they will have planted 1 billion. So this is the main aim. So using technology to ensure that we restore our world's lost forests. So this is all about your air and air pollution, and then what are the ways that we can control the air pollution. Now next we have the second thing, the basic requirement. It is water. Now if you see most of the time we have seen people saying earth is a blue planet, all that, isn't it? Because 70% of the entire mass is covered with water, so you have called it as a blue planet. Now out of this 70%, 97% is ocean, is in the ocean. That means marine water. So this is not useful at all. You can see this circle. In the circle, 97% is marine or sea water, which you can't directly use. And this just small portion, that is 3%, is your fresh water. Now this is your fresh water. Then out of this 3%, now you can see this 77 is in the frozen form. Now out of this 3%, 77% is in the frozen form, which we cannot directly use it. Now next, coming to this brown colored portion, this is 22%. It is hidden in the form of groundwater where there is no direct access. That means this frozen and groundwater, which is almost 99%, which we cannot directly use. Now you are stating about this 1%. You can see this is your fresh water. That means in the form of your lakes, rivers, streams, all that. So this water, it is almost about 0.0007%. That means out of the 70%, we are only bothered about 0.007%. That is our fresh water, which can be directly accessible. Now all that, see, if you think that this is the big dot, all the water on the earth, now the fresh water is this small drop. That means this entire, if you take this is just a small drop we are speaking about. Now, water is an elixir of life. No water, no life. To think of what life without water is not only unimaginable, but also frightening. Yeah, I think most of you might have experienced this. When you wake up from your bed and there is no water running in your taps, then definitely you will scream, isn't it? Because the moment you wake up from your bed, everybody, we need water for some or the other activity. So it is not just unimaginable, but very, very frightening. All great thinkers of the world have preached the conservation of water. Mahatma Gandhi said, don't use money like water, but use water like money. Now, there is a great meaning in this. Don't use money like water, but use water like money. That means you should be very, very cautious, careful, or judicial utilization. That's what he meant. Then, whenever I say water, two things you should keep it on mind. Two AQs, we call it as adequate quantity, acceptable quality. What is that? Adequate quantity and acceptable quality. See, you remember our way, I mean, even in the ancient time, see, human habitations, they have started, they have flourished wherever near the river banks. So water and economic development are directly related. Now wherever you have adequate quantity and acceptable quality, only there you will have bright future. That means our economic development of any country or any region depends on availability of fresh water. So total quantity on water on the Earth's surface is estimated to be 1400 million cubic kilometers. Now, it seems by 2025, 1.8 billion population will be living in countries or regions with acute water scarcity. And two-thirds of the world's population could live under huge water stress. And in general, city dwellers consume more water than rural people. By 2050, 66%, that means more than two-thirds of the population will be projected to be urban, and their water needs are extremely high. Yeah, this is just go through. So various religious scriptures have not only emphasized the significance of water, but they have given the importance of water also. You can see Mahabharat, if you take, water is a brutal force and requires wise people to handle. Even in Bible, soul of water sits on water, soul of God sits on water. Trees can exist only due to water. Quran may be conserved water and equitable usage of water that is meant for human beings, other living beings, and vegetation. Even Benjamin Franklin, he said, we do not realize the importance of water until the wells go dry. So these are some of the, things that they have been quoted. Then water, if you see, there are the three major sectors which need water. Agriculture, which needs 70%. If you take Indian scenario, ours is an agriculture country, so more than 70% goes into agriculture. Fresh water, I'm speaking about the fresh water. Industry 22, and domestic usage is 8%. Now, this is the projected. You can see this world population. How there is global population and population living under severe water stress. You can see this. It is increasing. Now, similarly, future freshwater needs for agriculture, industry, and municipal and domestic. You can see this. So there is an increase from all different sectors because of increase in population, change lifestyle, and industrial development, etc. So demand for water is increasing dramatically in all major sectors. With a growing population comes a growing demand for water from various sectors. Now you can see this is a world mapper which has tried to emphasize. You can see this is water demand by industry. Europe, USA, Japan, and China, they have in big industrial footprints. You can see this. They have enlarged because that is the reason why the shapes are inflated. Now India, China, and Egypt, you can see this. They have for agriculture. India, China, you can see Indian, ours is an agricultural country. Then you have China and Egypt. They have a huge agricultural demand. Then you have US, Europe, and Japan. They have big domestic demands. So this is a thematic world mapper which has projected this. Now, a very important thing, water footprint. Yeah. So what is water footprint? It is a volume of fresh water used to produce the product. See, what is water footprint? Each one, see, it is a volume of fresh water which is required to produce a final product. Now, if you take coffee, 1 cup of coffee, it requires around 140 liters of water. Now, one paper, this is an A4 size paper, it requires around 10 to 20 liters of water based on the quality of paper. Now, this is sugar cubes, you can see it is 1500 liters. Then the same thing, it is projected. Now, chocolate, most of you might be eating chocolates and other things. So it is, see, you can see this 2400 liters of water. Then to produce 1 liter of milk, we need 1000 liters of water, because and if you take tomatoes, if you want to produce 1 kg of tomato, maybe it requires some hundreds of liters of water, right from sowing the seed to the produce till you get the harvest. How much quantity of water we have used, that is what you call it as a water footprint. Each one of us, you, me, everybody, we leave a water footprint on this earth. Now, if you take this burger, it is 24,000. So each one of us, we leave a water footprint. Now, there are two extremities of water. See, as a resource, water is an asset. As a flood, it is a threat. And as it becomes scarce, it causes drought. Now, this is one water extremity, and this is another thing. Now, one side you have excess water, and on the other side you have deficiency, that is scarcity. Now, you can see this kind of a picture. I think in the recent past also, Hyderabad received huge rains, because of which most of the areas were flooded. And I think you might have seen what are the consequences of that. Humans can cause flooding on a large scale because of deforestation and urbanization. This deforestation, you can see this. The image is very, easy to understand. You can say if you think that this is a funnel, on top of that you have good greenery. Now, the water infiltration is more, whereas the runoff will be just 2%. That means these plants absorb most of the water, leaving behind only 2% where it comes, and you can see this. Now, suppose you have 14%, if you have few trees, that means if you reduce the number of greenery, now you can see the absorbency, water infiltration capacity is reducing, and whatever you can see this. So 14% will come out. Now, if you take only few trees, then 73% of the water is coming into this glass. Now, you can see this is barely any tree. Now, 85% will come and settle in this funnel, glass. Now, similarly, if you have an urban scenario where there are no trees, now 100%, whatever it is raining, it will come and settle in the form of your runoff. So, percentage of surface runoff on variety of surfaces. So, if you have good plantation, good greenery, then you will have good absorbency, good infiltration. Therefore, it will not resort to flooding. Now, as the greenery decreases, you can see how there is a increase in the surface runoff. Now, you can see this deforestation reduces infiltration, increases surface runoff, and increases soil erosion rates and sedimentation. Now, building houses and roads on the floodplain adds to the impacts of the floods. Now, this kind of situation, I think they are self-explanatory. I think you have come across this kind of a situation in the recent past. Now, one case study. Now, Cherrapunji. If I say Cherrapunji, what do you think about it? It is the most, wettest place on the earth. It receives maximum amount of rainfall with an average rainfall of 11.5 meters during the monsoon season. Now, do you think such a area which is receiving such huge amount of rainfall will face scarcity? Yes, it faces severe drought for the rest of the year. The place still gets much rain, but with the very few trees still standing, all the water just washes downhill. There is no culture of rainwater harvesting here, as residents never felt it was necessary. Now you can see here, water everywhere, but not a drop to drink. For many years, the Indian town of Cherrapunji has held the title of the wettest place on the earth. But incredible as it may sound, the world's wettest town is now suffering from a shortage of drinking water. Yeah, this is a fact that Cherrapunji now a wet desert. You can see this. Now this is how it rains. It doesn't rain, it pours. It rains like cats and dogs. That's what we many times call. Now you can see it is now a wet desert. Now next we have drought. Now water, why we have this scarcity? Because it is not equally distributed around the world. Some places have abundance of water while others have real shortages. Now you can see this. Now this kind of a situation, so this is a great Indian famine which has resulted in many deaths. Now it is not only human beings but also carcasses of other animals also. Because of scarcity of water, people died. Now you can see this the same thing, the great Bengal famine. Millions of people died. Now you can see this girl. This is do you ever wish to venture or adventure into this well? You can see how deep it is. This is how they go deeper into the well and collect water and come up. Now see, most of us might have played many adventure sports, isn't it? But would you ever think of this? Now you can see this. Now many villages, because of scarcity of water, they walk miles and miles to collect water, and then they bleed also many a times. Yeah, this is another story, the story of Maharashtra's water wives. Yeah, because of scarcity of water, they resort to marrying two or more, especially widows, because to fetch water. Yeah, they marry two or three, women, especially to fetch water. This is a true fact. See, it is heartbreaking as a drought itself, because they have to collect walk miles to collect the water and then come back. So they are resorting to this kind of a facility, because they are also happy, because most of them were widows. Instead of staying alone, they have a company, and therefore they are mostly they are also happy. Even they are also happy. Now this is another thing, and this is Latur. You can see if you take the water train, this is called as a water train because of scarcity. In wagons, they had to supply. Even Chennai, Latur, you can see. So these are some of the examples. Now, why water is becoming scarce? Increasing demand from various sectors, over exploitation of both surface as well as groundwater resources. Pollution, it is also another contributing factor, and scarcity due to unpredictable rainfall. Yeah, this is because of unpredictable rainfall, courtesy climate change or global warming, whatever you call. Now, the same thing, I skip this. Now, then another thing is, see, just now I was saying, when you speak about water, two things should come onto your mind. One is quality and quantity, isn't it? Acceptable, adequate quantity and acceptable quality. If you have adequate quantity without acceptable quality, what for you will be using that water, isn't it? So water quality varies from place to place and region to region due to a number of reasons. Now you can see this, developed countries have a better quality as compared to developing countries. Now you can see this kind of a situation. See, you can see these are especially slums where the water quality is very, very bad because of encroachment and other things. See, you can see, would you ever try to drink this kind of water? You can see this. Now, a child dies every 8 seconds from contaminated water. Only 1 in 4 Indians have access to clean drinking water on their premises. Now, you can say this is one of the slums where they don't have the privilege to collect, pure water, but they do not have any access to clean drinking water. Next, now you can see this. See, water pollution is a major environmental issue in India today, and it is a major cause of various diseases like typhoid, cholera. On an average, 250 million people worldwide succumb to diseases related to water pollution. According to WHO, 3.2 million under the age of 5 in developing nations die each year as a result of unsafe drinking water and poor sanitation. You can see these pictures, they are self-explanatory. 80% of the water pollution is caused due to domestic sewage, like throwing garbage on open ground and water bodies. I think you have seen this kind of situation where you see. See, I think India is the only place where we treat our rivers to be sacred. But unfortunately, we are not, on the name of worship or whatever, we are trying to throw garbage, even, many things. Now, other sources of pollution include agricultural runoff and unregulated small-scale industries. Yeah, you can see nearly 50% or almost half of India's groundwater is poisonous. Yeah, initially think people, I mean, we used to believe that groundwater is supposed to be uh, um, not polluted as compared, I mean, compared to surface water, groundwater was supposed to be pure. But now even the groundwater has been contaminated. In the Ganga, levels of the toxic metal chromium and are now 70 times the permissible limit. See, waterborne diseases like diarrhea alone cause more than 1,600 deaths daily. Now, many of our basic industries simply dispose of their toxic waste into the rivers. I think most of the times, if you are near the industrial area, you might have seen fumes coming out of the, I mean, those near the nalas. Most of you might have seen. Even treated water has higher than permissible limits of levels of toxic elements like fluoride and nitrate, which may cause cancer. Now, this kind of situation, you can see this is water hyacinth because of agricultural runoff. This is a weed actually. It grows quickly and leads to eutrophication, and that water cannot be used. Many a times you might have seen this kind of situation. Now, this is throwing garbage, everything, dumping. Yeah. Now, next you have fluoride contamination, cannot live, cannot die. Yeah, this is a very serious issue. If the because of fluoride contamination, especially those who are living in those areas, like if you take Telangana, Nalgonda district, they cannot live nor die because of this fluoride. You can see there are so many health impacts. It is endemic in 19 Indian states, affecting 25 million population. Yeah, this is another case study. I think most of you know Coca-Cola company. Now it has started a plant in Palakkad district, that is Kerala, which is the rice bowl of Kerala. Now, actually, what it did is it acquired some land, 34.4 acres of land, mostly paddy fields, to set up a bottling plant. Now, on January 25th, 2000, Panchayat granted the permission. Now, soon after, see, actually, what they were doing is just see this to produce 5.6 lakh liters of beverage per day with an average requirement of 3.8 liters of water for 1 liter of beverage. That means if you want to manufacture 1 liter of Coca-Cola, you need 3.8 liters of fresh water. Now, the source of water is just see 2 open ponds, 2 million liters of water per day, 6 bore wells, etc. Now, within 6 months of commencement, the villagers complained the water was unsuitable for drinking or cooking. It has turned milky white and brackish. That means because of this Coca-Cola plant, it is discharging huge amounts of wastewater into the soil or into the nearby ponds or lakes, whatever. So villagers noticed soon after the factory was opened, their well started running dry, and the available water turned contaminated and toxic. Now, just see this. In the subsequent months, see, initially what this Coca-Cola plant was doing is they were trying to sell the sludge, whatever is the byproduct of that Coca-Cola company, as a fertilizer to the unsuspecting farmers, following which it gave it for free because they were giving for free, so they kept quiet. And with increasing resentment among villagers, it was merely dumped on the roadside. Subsequent months, several villages complained of unusual stomach pain, while farmers complained of wells emptying unusually very fast and crop yields decreasing. On 22nd April, that means within 2 years of commencement, villagers, mostly Adivasis, they began to protest. Now, the High Power Committee has determined the damage that has occurred to that district because of giving this 34 acres of land, whatever few acres of land to the plant. Just see this, 216.26 crores, almost 28 million. Now, the figure was broken down into categories of agriculture loss, health damage, cost of providing water, wage loss, and the cost of pollution of water resources. However, no compensation has been given to the villages even today. Now, these religious festivals and challenges, you can see on one side, people are having acute water scarcity, while on the other side you will have this bucket challenge, whatever you call, then holy, all this. So these slides you can see, and on this side you can see. Now, is it devotion or destruction? Now, the same thing, I would like to skip this. See, every year, 60,000 big and small idols are immersed into various lakes of Hyderabad on the occasion of Ganesh Visarjan. Idols, most of them plaster of Paris. Now, they are contributing to a lot of, pollution in terms of water pollution, even generation of solid waste also. So, besides polluting water, they reach humans via food chain. When humans consume fish and other seafood, if the fish survive, if the fish survive, that is because hundreds of fish are found dead after the immersions. So now you can see. Yeah, there is a small video. I want you to see this. Okay, I think it is not playing anyway. This is today's thinking. If there is time, I'll play that video at the end. This is today's thinking. That means you have rain here. Instead of collecting this water, this lady is waiting for this. Now, tap water where it is not coming. So you can say this is our today's thinking. That means what is a major source of water which reaches the surface of the earth? It is rainwater. Instead of filling this water, we are waiting for this tap water, which is which we do not know when it comes, isn't it? So this is our today's thinking. Okay, this is not working anyway. So now next we have what are the means we can conserve water. See, Jal Divas. Likewise, we have this World Water Day, which is celebrated on an international level. That is on March 22nd each year. Similarly, Jal Divas, this has been started, which will be celebrated on July, in the month of June. Now, as a part of this program, see, since necessity is the mother of invention, everyone from school children to social activists to self-motivated individuals is trying different ways of water conservation to fight water scarcity in India, because little drops of water make mighty ocean. So this is one thing. So you can see these children, when they are going out of the school, from the school in the evening, they try to fill this drum with the leftover water, such that that water can be used for the next day's activities. So this is a small thing they have done in Pune. Now this, you can see this, these ladies from Kerala, because they had no wells. So these ladies, they started digging the well on the, there is no labor because they were facing so much, water scarcity. So they started digging, and you can see the result of that. The water has come. Now, then this person called Ayyappa Masagi, he is a mechanical engineer by profession. Now he is called as Water Gandhi of India because he has created around 600 lakes across the rural India. So now this person hails from Karnataka, and he is a mechanical engineer by profession, and he has constructed many lakes for water conservation. Now these another thing is, nothing is useless on earth. Now they have two final year students of IIT Mumbai have proven it by collecting plastic waste and giving clean drinking water in return. They have built a revolutionary machine which accepts used cans or bottles and dispenses 300 milliliters of water in exchange. Now this this boy, you can see, charity begins at home. Now you can say this person, he couldn't see his mother walking for miles and getting water. So he himself, he's a graduate. He was really, studying. He's a 17-year-old boy, not a graduate. He's studying his, graduation maybe. Dug a 55-foot deep well in the backyard of his home for his mother. So since his family could not afford to hire laborers, so he himself did that huge work, Pavan Kumar. Now you can say this is a small gesture. A little thought makes a big difference. Now you can see, if you have this, it is a used rubber tire they have cut and planted the trees. The main purpose of this is there will be less evaporation, because if you water the plants, now some of which goes in the form form of evaporation losses, so that you can control. Now, similarly, now the third thing is food or the balanced diet. Now, we have certain 17 sustainable development goals. Now, you can see we will quickly go through. First one, we will mostly bother about food because balanced diet concentrating on. So, end hunger, achieve food security, and improve nutrition and promote sustainable agriculture. So, this is about your goal 2. 3, you can see ensure healthy lives, promote well-being. 4, you can just keep so our second one is goal 2, it is end hunger. Now, number of undernourished people reaches 821 million in 2017. See, if you take the scenario in 2017, Asia accounted for nearly 2/3, that is 63% of the world's hungry. Nearly 151 million children under 5, 22% were still stunted. You can see this. So, hunger is leading cause of death in the world. Now, this you can see end hunger's goal 2, achieve food security, improve nutrition. Yeah, this picture, if you take the vulture and the little girl, Kevin Carter was a South African photojournalist. He was the recipient of this prize, Pulitzer Prize, and for this photograph depicting the 1993 famine in Sudan. Now, but he committed suicide within 3 months of winning this prize because he couldn't see this picture. He has been recollecting this because see the situation here. This vulture will be waiting for this boy to die actually, and this boy is a few meters away from that UN center where he could get food. So this boy is struggling to survive, whereas this vulture is waiting for this boy to die. So this is a heart-rending picture. So because of this, he couldn't see, and because he has been recollecting that for since then, so he committed suicide. Now you can see most of them are hungry. I mean, you can see the plight of situation of those children. Now, undernourishment, it is, if you take on an average, a healthy person requires a minimum diet of 2,500 calories per day. And if it is less than that, we call it as undernourishment. Malnourishment means if you are having less, if the nutrients are not sufficient in the food that we take, then we call it as malnourished. India houses to be 24% of the world's malnourished and 30% of the stunted children under age 5. Now you can see this. This is a case study. Rubina, when she was born, she was 6.5 kgs. See, she is 2.5 years old. Rubina. This is a case study, and today she is 6.5 kgs. When she was born, she was healthy, but because of malnourishment, she was not given proper food, and therefore she had this acute malnourishment, and therefore she was put into at 9 months she was declared to be severely malnourished, a condition that could stunt her physical growth and cognitive development forever. Now, at this nutrition rehabilitation center, the doctors put her on an intensive nutrition supplement for fortnight and managed to bring her to her out of the malnourished state. But back home, because of lack of regular healthy diet, her condition worsened. Now you can see this. She is now categorized as chronically malnourished. Now, Shivpuri has 11,392 severely acute malnourished children. These tribals, once known for their lion-like physical strength and often made to fight wild animals in the king's courtyard for entertainment, are now fighting a losing battle against malnourishment. Now, this is the plight of that region, Shivpuri. Now, next, malnourishment. This is not six-pack, like you are assuming, because of lack of nutrition. You can see these abnormalities. You can see huge appetite. You can see they are. Because of malnourishment, you will have the limbs and the forelimbs and the hands are very thin, while you have a huge appetite. All that you can see this. So, food challenges. Now, on one side, if you take one side on this, they have no choice on this side, but on this side we have a choice. You can see these are the plates where you have huge food and you have wasted, and this is a regular thing. I think whenever you celebrate your birthday parties, you can see this kind of a situation. Instead you could give it to those who are unprivileged, such that they can enjoy these cakes and all. Now you can see this excess, and then you can see this cat, for example, they have excess, while this cat I wanted. Similarly, you can say this is a leftover plate where huge amounts of good food has been wasted, while they have no choice. You can see this lady, they are taking from the dustbin or the trash. Now same is the case here also. You can see these kind of a situation, they are heart rendering. Many times we will be, each one of us, contributing to either indirect or in direct form of food wastage. So these kind of a situation, we can see, you can see these hands, how dirty they are. Would you ever think of this kind of a situation? So I think most of you do not even know what it is going to bed empty stomach, isn't it? So you just see this. So the Indian weddings, you can see 20 percentage overall wastage is 20 percentage, almost. You can see how many number of zeros are there, 70 crores maybe plates. Now you can see annual global food wastage 20%. All this you can see the worth of the food that go in India waste is around 92,000 crores. You can see unimaginable the amount. You can see it is how much you are wasting. India wastes 67 million tons of food every year. Yeah, say no to food waste, because they have a dream, because directly we are contributing to inflation of prices when you waste food, isn't it? See, we are buying more and more and wasting more and more. In that way, what is happening, there is a huge gap between the supply and demand, and therefore we are trying to buy more and wasting, and it is leading to inflation of prices. So don't waste food. And yeah, lastly, we have land. We abuse land because we regard it as a commodity belonging to us. When we see land as a community to which we belong, we may begin to use it with love and respect. Now, so this is land. It is a store of wealth in its own. It preserves terrestrial biodiversity, regulates water. It is a home or abode to many animals and other things. Just 1 square kilometer of land, fertile land, is an abode to more than 1 million organisms. Yeah, this is the importance. Now, land has become a limited resource due to degradation of land, which is taking it a very faster place. 1/3 of the land is severely degraded, and the fertile soil is being lost at a rate 24 billion tons a year, according to UN. It takes about 500 years to create just an inch of topsoil. The world's land resources are continuously getting degraded. The soil is being unhealthy. Desertification is increasing. All this, see, more than 75% of Earth's land areas are substantially degraded, and the well-being of 3.2 million people, raising the risk of migration. So more than 80% of the items that fill into the landfills are fit for recycling. So it is not just land degradation, but soil pollution is also causing. You can say this example. This kind of a situation we come across. See, we have taken land for granted, and most of the time we are dumping whatever waste, that is called as NIMBY, not in my backyard syndrome. So we are dumping all the trash, everything onto the land. To make a fertile soil, it takes hundreds of years, but whereas to degrade that, it doesn't take much time. So this you have to keep it on mind, because our food resources are totally dependent on land resources, isn't it? See, our food security, green revolution, etc., it is totally dependent on our available land resources. Now, when you choose what to eat, what to wear, or what to drive, think about how your choice impacts the land, for better or worse. This is the most important statement I felt is apt. Now, see, this is what case study in China. It is called as a electronic graveyard. See, this Guyu in China, it is a location of what may be the largest electronic e-waste site on the earth. As a result, 88% of children in this area, they suffer from lead poisoning, and there is more than the average rate of miscarriages. So it is called as electronic graveyard. Yeah, effects of desertification, you can see this. See, 1/3 of land surface on the earth has fallen victim to desertification, according to the estimates. Each year, 6 million hectares of land are lost due to the desertification, soil degradation. So it affects 250 million people across the globe. Now, effects of desertification, farming becomes next to impossible. So where do we grow our plants if at all? Our land resources are getting desertified. Now hunger, it increases hunger. Then flooding, because of lack of trees, there it will be more or less more flooding. Rise in malnutrition among people. Now, yeah, lastly, are we destroying our environment? So till now we have seen about some things about air, water, land. Lastly, are we destroying our environment? Yeah, we may not be doing it on purpose, but our presence is having a negative effect on our environment. When we say environment, it means everything around us. That is our air, our water, land, our natural resources, even the animals. So every year we extract 55 billion tons of fossil fuels. All this you can see every hour 1692 acres of productive dry land is becoming into a desert. 27% of our coral reefs have been destroyed. All this. So who is the real enemy for environmental crisis? Now, do you think rich societies that consume and pollute a lot, government and political parties that are only concerned about winning the next elections and hence do not take any tough decisions, companies that use all the natural resources and throw away the waste, like your Coca-Cola plant, the example, corrupt officials who let companies pollute, NIMBY syndrome, that is not in my backyard syndrome, waste that we generate and throw mindlessly, corruption that we either support directly or indirectly, our consumption and desire for more. Yeah, lastly, why environmental education? See, due to unprecedented environmental degradation, we will soon be living in a very different and difficult world. Therefore, we must understand the nature and severity of crisis and our role in it. So, the one word you can see, knowledge on environmental issues is very important. Also, creating awareness and also developing an attitude of concern, improve skills so that we try to solve these environmental issues, bring harmony, motivate public, inform decisions, and responsible actions. Now, there is a famous Chinese saying, if you want prosperity for 1 year, plant corn. If you want prosperity for 10 years, plant trees. And if you want prosperity for 100 years, then you need to educate people. Lastly, summary, this is the last slide. Engineers play a very crucial role in creating the infrastructure across the globe. They play an important role in sustainable development by proper planning and building projects which preserves natural resources, eco-friendly, and that are also cost effective. It is imperative to realize mechanical and automobile engineers move the world, while electrical engineers power the world, electronics and communication engineers connect the world, last but not the least, civil engineers build the world. Therefore, it is essential that engineers shall focus on designing and planning various infrastructure projects and transportation systems in such a way that they are more energy efficient, have lesser adverse effects on the environment, encourage green technologies, encourage use of renewable energy resources, and are less dependent on non-renewable resources. So the main idea behind this awareness program is that we must act responsibly so that resources present on the planet will be able to support our future generations. That is sustainable development. That means meeting the needs of the present generation without degrading the needs and aspirations of the future generations. So together, let's protect our environment and save the world. Thank you.
Thanks, ma'am. It was a very nice session. You've sensitized all the engineers. Ma'am, we have few questions, ma'am, here.
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah. The first question is, in lockdown, is there any decrease in pollution?
To be frank, it's a mixed answer, ma'am. I would like to tell you because see, these days we are using more and more mask than what you call these gloves and your PPE kits, etc. So they are leading to a lot of solid waste, and that is hazardous waste, isn't it?
Yeah.
So in that way, it is leading to more solid waste. So that is one thing. And coming to the other point is the other way of looking at it is, see, I think there is a reduction in during lockdown, especially people were not moving out of their houses, isn't it? We were, where we are. That means if you are in your house or wherever you are not going out. To these days, work from home trend has come into existence. So that has contributed to lesser emissions in terms of greenhouse gases. So it's a mixed answer, ma'am. That's what it is my perspective. Whether I'm right or not, I do not know.
Okay. Ma'am, small request, would you switch on your video, ma'am, so that students
Yeah,
could be...
actually, I wanted to play the another video, ma'am. I don't know why it was not. If it plays well and good.
Yeah, ma'am. Ma'am, one more question we have.
Yeah, yeah.
Only by planting and growing trees we can save environment?
Yeah, it is not just planting and growing trees, but many impacts. Like if you take flooding or air pollution or even change, I mean global climate changes, whatever we they are happening, most of them can be reduced by planting trees. But it is not the only way. There are other means where how you can reduce that. Like maybe you have to go for green technologies or depending more on renewable energy resources, or designing vehicles and transportation systems such that they yield to lesser pollutants. So they are also in place. But mostly for many of the environmental issues that we are having today can be reduced to some extent by planting trees or increasing the green cover.
Yeah. One more question, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
How to increase the effectiveness of institutional policies, policy of nature protection?
Yeah, actually, see, yeah, it's a very nice question, ma'am. We have something called environmental impact assessment. Before any project flies off, first you have to, think about the environmental issues. So that is what you do it in EIA. But honestly, because of corrupt officials or because of improper decisions and irresponsible actions, so we are not trying to follow them. Actually, say suppose you want to construct a dam or construct a road network, you should see what are the environmental repercussions. And not only that, see these the main problem that we are facing is, see, environmental lack of environmental awareness and not including the environmental degradation component in a particular project. So that is the main reason, ma'am. See, if you want to manufacture a good, what are the things that you mainly think about? What is the raw material to be used and what are the labor costs, etc. But we are never including the environmental costs. That means what is the degradation part. So if at all you also include the degradation component, maybe we can reduce these. Whatever repercussions that we are facing today.
Yeah. Nice, ma'am. There's one more question.
Yes, ma'am.
Many students want to get to know, like, what are the inventions that are going on now to reduce pollution, any pollution, air, water, or land pollution?
Yeah, yes,
What
ma'am.
do
There
you
are,
know?
like just now I have shown recently, we never felt that drone can be used to plant trees, isn't it? Likewise, we have remote sensing and GIS techniques, especially remote sensing, wherein you can address many environmental issues. Suppose, see, if you take a remote sensory image, now that is what you call fortnight. That means if you have a particular area, suppose if you have a forest, say some people have without your knowledge, because see there is no surveillance in the forest, no. So if you destruct the forest, what will happen? It will reduce the green cover in that area. If you have these remote sensory images, now being in your office, you can locate where the destruction or the deforestation is occurring. Likewise, you can ensure that you can ensure um, people resorting to such unwanted events. And not only that, these drones, and also see, we have these green technologies which are coming into picture these days. And as see, this environmental science, it acts as a bridge between technology and biology. So there are several advancement, like we are also having the, I mean, these days they are trying to what you call design devices, and also your vehicles, transportation vehicles, in a, in a way which are leading to lesser air pollution, all that. So maybe these are some of the advancements. And also your solar, see, in future India is going to be having the major role, because we belong to tropical area, so we have plenty of sunlight. So if you can harness that, solar energy, see, whatever it is falling on the surface of the earth, 1% of it, if you are able to capture, that is sufficient to illuminate the entire globe. So that is a huge potential. Maybe in future we might have such technologies wherein you can use them.
So last question, ma'am. Which type of action is more effective? Taking small steps in improving our livelihood, or taking part in climate marches?
Think locally, act globally. Think locally and act globally. That means we, if you are in local areas, so those small steps also make a greater difference. At the same time, marching also across the globe, that also has a definite advantage, because see, this 2020 has taught us a lesson. This pandemic has taught us everybody a lesson. So maybe things will change.
Thank you very much, ma'am. This was a very nice session, and your pictorial presentations were descriptive, all descriptive. The way you described the presentation, it was very vivid. Starting from the pollution of air, water, and land, you really brought us to a world where we are actually sensitized uh, about the fragile condition in which we are living, and how carefully we need to manage our resources so as to keep the balance, and how we humans have innocently or foolishly have, by our various methods of implementation, have caused destruction to the environment, and we are suffering in turn. And the way you sensitized various issues, like your, while describing the air pollution and all, the way you spoke about the child labor, particularly making bidis and fireworks, and also about the malnutrition in kids, particularly when you were discussing about water pollution. I think the students have got sensitized to various social issues which are caused because of this environmental hazards, and also your discussion on how this health issues, which is more social, both for youngsters and for any age group people, how these health hazards are really causing a concern, like due to air pollution, the pulmonary diseases which many are suffering, and various digestive problems where most of us are suffering because of water contamination. Very lucidly described, ma'am. Thanks for actually giving us an idea about the case studies, like the Chirapunji having plenty but still being poor of not having water, or Coca-Cola, or the natural contamination, water contamination like fluoride problem in Telangana. The case studies really helped us to understand about the various pollutions that are being caused either naturally or man-made. And thanks, ma'am. The way technology can be used, like drones being used for planting trees, and how the networking is really helping to distribute food, not wasting the food, and how we foolishly waste food, and how it can be improved. It's all being dealt very nicely, and how the examples you gave about the people making movements like the green belt movement and all. I think students have really got sensitized to the requirement. And thanks. It was a wonderful session, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Now, students, take a small break now. At sharp 12 o'clock, you'll have proficiency module computer science taken up by the CSE department. Have a nice day. Thank you.